Good evening, Bearcat families, students, parents, and thank you for being with us this evening as we talk about and orient your student and you to our 6th through 12th grade virtual academy with Battle Creek Public Schools. If you are joining us in a recording a little bit later, welcome. We're glad you're here, and I hope that this session will still help you understand what our 6th through 12th grade Bearcat Virtual Academy is all about. This evening with me, well, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm glad to be here with you this evening. I'm Dr. Deborah Nuzzi. I'm the Director of Secondary Education for Battle Creek Public Schools. And with me this evening, we have Mr. Chuck Siles. Mr. Siles is the administrator for our 6th through 12th grade academy. Mr. Siles, would you like to give a greeting?
Welcome. I'm glad you're joining the virtual academy. I think if you take time and effort, you'll be very successful. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you succeed.
Thank you, Mr. Siles. And also this evening, you're going to hear from Mrs. Kathy Baisden. Mrs. Baisden is one of those Odysseyware experts, and she's going to chime in just a little while when it comes to specifically talking about the program that we use, Odysseyware. Ms. Baisden, would you like to give a greeting?
Hello, everyone. Welcome and glad to meet you guys.
So without further ado, I am going to share my screen, and we are going to, well, I absolutely adore Zoom, and I mean that sincerely. However, there are times when it doesn't quite work out the way we've asked it to. I'm gonna try that again, because that is actually what you have to do as a virtual academy student. You have to keep trying and not let it get you to a point that's not okay. And I am experiencing some difficulty for a moment. I'm going in the back way, I get it. Also, to those of you who are joining us, we welcome you to turn your cameras on if you would like to. You do not have to, and I do want to remind you that this is being recorded, so if you do prefer to keep your camera off, that will be fine as well. All right, I think we figured this out by staying the course, so here we go. All right, so this evening we are going to orient you to the 6th through 12th grade Bearcat Virtual Academy. We also have a time for questions at the end, but if you would like to use the chat function, you are more than welcome to do so. So it was in a response to the needs of our families and students that Battle Creek Public Schools created the Virtual Academy. It is a 100% online school program. It's really important to think for a moment who is best suited to learn through the Virtual Academy. So one of the things that I want to make sure that everyone knows is that we have been given, I'll call it permission, it's more around the guidance from science, through the Michigan Department of Health, as well as our Calhoun County Department of Health, that it is safe to return our students face-to-face now, starting next Monday, as long as we are practicing all of the safety procedures that we've been guided to do. And really that is around social distancing and wearing of masks and lots of hand washing, sanitizing, and our cleaning protocols as well in the school buildings. Our students are returning Monday in a cohort hybrid model, and we are doing all of those safety precautions that we've been guided to do. I want to make sure that you have a chance to also still understand that, as well as being oriented to the virtual academy. In the cohort model, we've split our students we've split them 50-50. Half of our students will go in cohort 1, which is Monday and Tuesday. All students will join remotely with their teachers through Zoom on Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday, cohort 2 of students will go. By having 50% of our students in our secondary buildings, that already allows us to social distance much more safely than if all of our students went back to school. So I want to make sure that you're making this decision to be in virtual academy with all of the information possible. If you are a student who has ongoing health concerns, or a family member who does, that would be one reason why you truly might want to choose virtual academy. If you're a student who has to work to support your family, or you are a student who is already parenting, that might be a reason why you would choose virtual academy. So what type of personality does well in virtual academy? You know, we are all different, and that's good. But there are certain kinds of students, whether you're in kindergarten or whether you are 50 years old and in a college program, who does best in a virtual program. Students who do well need to be independent. They need to be self-motivated. They need to be able to complete tasks and watch their progress. So Ms. Baisden will show you also, I believe, how you can see if you're on pace or not. You need to be able to care about that, because you don't want to get too far behind and then think, I can never do this, and decide to give up. You need to be willing to ask for help. There is not one of us who can do every task put in front of us without asking for help sometimes. That actually shows strength. That doesn't show a weakness. And you need to be resilient. And what that means is, if you don't get it the first time, you're willing to go back and try it again. If you as a student, or if parents, you know your student does not have these kind of characteristics, doesn't mean that one thing is wrong with that person. It just means that they're better suited to learn in a different way. So the 6th through 12th grade virtual academy uses a program called Odysseyware. It's owned by a company called Edgenuity, in case you want to look any of that up. And that's where we get our courses. We've also gone in and made the courses that they provide customized, so that they are very similar to the courses that students would get face-to-face in one of our Battle Creek Public Schools classrooms. Odysseyware is an online program with almost every course that we offer, and students would take that and receive credit towards graduation. Communication is extremely important in the virtual academy. Consistent communication between students, teachers, and/or parents and guardians really is key to student success in the Battle Creek Public Schools Virtual Academy. Student accountability is really important as well. The Virtual Academy is not something to choose just to take an easy street, because I promise you it's not. And students would tell you it's not. We have had many students that started on Virtual Academy last fall who have contacted us saying, "Woo, this is a little tougher than I realized, and you know what, it's not for me." And they asked to come out of Virtual Academy and go back to their classes, which during the fall we know were in remote learning, so they were still online, but they were with their teachers every day. They were with groups of students in their Zooms, where they still got to have breakout rooms and work with other students. They found that they needed the socialization to learn. Attendance is required in Virtual Academy, and that is done by pacing yourself and working every day. So we note that attendance is there by a student when we see that they're working every day, and we're monitoring that. It is self-paced, but students must keep track of their progress in completing their courses. So students and parents, really, truly, students must work consistently for 3 to 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And we do have students that work on Saturdays and Sundays as well. Now, should you have a break sometime during the day? Absolutely. And should you take some time for yourself on the weekend? Yes, because you need to be healthy people as well. Courses are graded, just as though a student was in school face-to-face. These are graded, and the grades do go on report cards and onto transcripts. You need to be able to ask for help. So help is there at the push of a button, but the student has to let the teacher know that they're stuck or they need assistance. Otherwise, a teacher is not going to know that, except for the couple of very short check-ins that they have. And we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Students must agree to participate in the two-way communication log conversations. So required by law, and much more than that, much more helpful to a student, is that a teacher will find a way to connect with you at least twice a week. This can be in different ways. It can be through a text, it can be an email, it can be a phone call, you can even meet virtually. And as you will see in a moment, through the Odysseyware platform, you can even chat with your teacher in Odysseyware or send them a message. The reason for that is not just to say hi, not just to connect and shoot the breeze, although you can do that a little as well, because they're there to also check on you as a person and not just a student. But part of what they must do is check on how you are doing academically. So they need to ask you, how are you doing? Did you find this easy? What was tricking you up this week? So that part of your academic conversation is required. And they are also there to help you through that if you are stuck. If you need to get to them, by all means reach out, like I just said, in the help button through Odysseyware, or even emailing them at their Battle Creek email to say, hey, I know today wasn't our check-in day, but I need some help, I'm stuck. Absolutely, that's the thing to do. You must complete all your coursework, working on all of your classes at the same time. It is important that you read, that you do the work, that you watch the video clips. They're there so you don't just get bored with only reading. You must complete your practices, your quizzes, and your tests, and don't rush through. The goal here is learning for you. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things, and I hope Miss Baisden goes back to these as well. In Odysseyware, you may come to a unit and think, oh, wait a minute, I really do honestly know this already. So if you want to give the work a try or the quiz a try, go ahead and do that. And you may find, yep, you really did know this. There's no reason for you to do all of the reading or all of the video clips if you genuinely know this already. But if you do a quiz or if you do some work and you are not successful, okay, that's a signal, because the nice thing about Odysseyware is you get another try, you get a chance. But that means, okay, I really didn't know this like I thought I did. You've got to go back and you've got to do your learning work and then try your quizzes or your tests again. If you are rushing through, Odysseyware is kind of smart and they will block you. They will say, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense that a student spent 1 minute or less than 1 minute on this quiz. And your teachers will also be able to see that. Odysseyware will block you and you have to wait for your teacher to unblock you. So it's not about games, it's not about rushing, it's about learning. All right, so parents, there are some responsibilities for you as well when your student's in Virtual Academy. It's important that you help your student create a daily routine and make sure there's a quiet, dedicated workspace for them. If the best place for them to work is on their bed because you have a happy, joyful, noisy household, that's okay. Maybe part of that is they get up, they make their bed, they fix their pillows so that they can sit up and that they can do their work. That's a family choice, but it's important for students to realize, this is my space to do my work. Ask your children questions about what they're learning. Don't let them get by with that old, nothing, nope, not good enough. So you need to ask them, you need to follow what they're learning and make sure that they are. Make sure that your student is getting breaks, getting outside when they can, getting a snack when they need it, and make sure that even though they're in virtual academy, they're still getting the adequate sleep they need to be learners, to start their learning day. To continue, go ahead and keep the computer and the device screens within your view as much as is possible. It's kind of a parent thing. And make sure your children are actively engaged with their learning, that their TV's not on, or their phone with social media while they're learning. And each of you knows your own child. Encourage your student. Be patient and flexible, especially if they hit a patch that's seeming really tough. Remind them that they can reach out to their teacher for help. And then communicate with your child's teacher in as much as possible through an email, a text. We're also making sure, or we need you to make sure that your information in Skyward is correct, because that's the email we are using to give you a parent login on Odysseyware so that you can monitor your child's progress. Student and parents, our students who are in virtual academy still have state assessments which will be scheduled, and we need you to show up for those. Yes, I do know that there's a rise out there, and rightfully so, to consider whether or not our students should be taking our state assessments this year. But until we know anything different, we still need you to respond to your teacher when they're trying to schedule you for state or even local assessments. We use those simply to know how to help our students best. So just a reminder that no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. And because the virtual academy is structured to be independent learning, those relationships will be between parents and students and teachers, and parents and teachers. And the way still to have those relationships flourish is to respond to your teacher when he or she is reaching out to you, and parents the same. Daily check-ins and continuous support. So Battle Creek Public Schools has a responsibility to students as well who are in the virtual academy. It is to provide the courses that are needed for students to graduate in high school or to really do their high school pre-learning in middle school. It is to check in with students and support as needed. It is to assess students and assign grades. The assessments do come through Odysseyware. And it is to move students to a different program if he or she is not successful. So if over time we continue to see that a student is not logging in or a student is not making any progress in their courses, it is our responsibility to reach out and to speak with the student and parent and to try and find if there's a different way of learning. And right now, to be just fully transparent, the only other choice we have is to come to school face to face. So this is serious business. What is the student experience? Is it hard to log on? What do I do when I'm in my class? What does it look like? So in just a moment, I'm going to pass this over to Mrs. Baisden. But the other thing that I learned through Odysseyware and in looking at students that are being successful in Odysseyware across the country, to get to that achievement that you want, you have to be engaged. You need to watch your progress and to have good progress. And you need to focus on your achievement. Do you have to be perfect? Absolutely not. This is about learning. Learning is never perfect, but you have to have progress. And that's what you're looking for. Progress, not perfection. So at this time, I am going to stop sharing. And let Ms. Baisden share.
Almost forgot to unmute. All right, so today I'm going to tell you some tricks to best get through Odysseyware, learning the most amount that you can with the least amount of stress. So my presentation is kind of called Surviving Odysseyware. First of all, the web address is battle-creek.owschools.com. And no worries, we're going to put this right on the Facebook page so that you'll be able to access this at any time. The very first thing I want to tell you is you cannot type this into the search bar. So if you are on Google, this down here is the search bar. Up here is the address bar. If you type it into the search bar, you will get Comstock or Cedar Springs and not Battle Creek. It will look exactly like the page I'm going to show you, but it will not be our school and you will be frustrated. So you definitely want to type the address in the address bar and not the search bar. All of the schools for Odysseyware look exactly the same. So you're not going to get something from the web page that's going to be glaringly obvious it's not our school. And this has frustrated people because it will not take your login and password. Okay. So this is what the opening page looks like. And when you put in, you will notice that you've got Battle-Creek up here. It must say that, or otherwise you're at a different school system. Your username will be first name and last name with no spaces, no capitals, and no special characters. So if you have apostrophes or dashes, you want to leave them out. And our password will just simply be password lowercase. The first time that you log in, you're going to be asked to accept the terms of the agreement. Go ahead and click that. And then you want to go ahead and uncheck this, always show after sign in, so you don't have to continuously go through that beginning stage. And then you want to click on Learn, which is up here right next to Odysseyware, this top toolbar. Okay. When you hit the Learn, you will find two different tabs, your Assignment tab and your Course tab. The Assignment tabs, if you notice mine, since I set my class up last semester, and I didn't touch it since then, it says that I have assignments that are overdue. Okay. If you find that you have overdue assignments, those are designed to help you pace your class to finish at the end of the semester. I say don't worry about overdue assignments in the fact that they don't hurt your grade. Worry about overdue assignments that you're behind now. But as long as you catch up, you will finish at the end of the semester and you will still get full credit for the work you did. So do not let the overdue make it so that you think I'm not going to get credit for this, so why bother? Absolutely bother. It's the only way to get credit for the class. There are the arrows to the side if you would like to start the assignment. It's important to know that tests and quizzes must be done the first time you click on it. So you can't click on it if you don't have time to start it or to automatically block your progress for that class. Lessons can be opened and shut many times and it won't bother you. It won't block you out as long as you don't submit them until you're finished. If you click on the Course tab, here is where you can find out a good deal of information about your class. It will tell you your current score. It will give you a progress bar that tells you you're 35% done in the class. It will tell you your teacher and give you an icon that you can email them directly. It gives you your start date, the last time you worked on it, how many days left in the semester. And again, mine was from last semester. That's why it says I only have 2 days to complete my course. And how many assignments that you have still left to complete and how many you should do per day. So this tells me if I want to finish my class, I have to do 94 assignments each day. This is why you don't want to wait until the last minute and you want to keep current on your overdue assignments. And it will also tell you how many overdue assignments you have. I'm over 99 behind in my class. You will not start out this far behind. I made this last semester and never touched it. So no worries on that. Once you go into a course, if you click on any one of your courses, it will break down each of your units. And think about a unit as a chapter in a book. Okay. You can then click on the arrow to open up that chapter. So if I wanted to look at set, structure, and function in Algebra 2, I click on the arrow. Arrows in Odysseyware will always move you either forward or back and give you more information. So if I click the forward, it will bring me to all of the assignments that I have for that chapter. If you notice, you have the type is along the side. R is for resource. Those are pretty important because they give you valuable information that you could use throughout the course. The course overview will tell you what you expect to learn in each section of your unit. The T stand for tests, L for lesson, and Q for quizzes. You have 5 attempts on a lesson before it will become blocked and your progress stopped. Quizzes have 3 attempts and tests only have 1 attempt. There are going to be exceptions. If you fly through the assignment and you score incredibly low, it will automatically block you as a warning to say, hey, that's not the way we work here in Battle Creek. We want to do more, learn more. If you leave it blank and turn it in, so don't turn it in blank, it automatically stops your progress and you no longer can work on that until you text your teacher and let them know that it is blocked. So basically, try your best because that will keep you moving and stop some frustration. All right. Once we look at the assignment view, here are the sections that you would read for your assignment, and here are the questions that go along. Dr. Nazi mentioned that if you already know the information, you can go directly to the question to see if you can test out of that lesson. So you could jump straight to the questions, try those 12, and see if you really did know it. And if you scored at least 80 above, you would move on to the next assignment and you would get out of reading those 6 sections. If you score poorly on those questions the first time, then that's a key to go back and read the sections. And if you had never had the class or you don't know the material, don't even bother skipping it. Just go straight to the learning because it actually takes more time to fail it and then go back versus just going straight to it. We talked about blocking assignments. The biggest way to not have a blocked assignment is to take your time and try your best. However, sometimes it does happen and a material is a little difficult and it may get blocked. So I scored 49.5% on this test. It was really hard for me to fail it, but I did. I actually had to try on that one. The assignment is now blocked. And if you want it unblocked, you would have to click the green message my teacher. That will send a message directly to your teacher, letting them know what lesson that needs to be unblocked and what class. If you do it from this tab right here, you don't have to give any directions because there's a link directly to it. If you go up here to message your teacher, then you would have to give them instructions because this top bar is always a way to message your teacher, but it will give them no information. So if you do it from the screen that you're working on, normally either at the bottom, and this is at the bottom, then it will automatically link all of the information you need to your teacher. Okay. Tests will have a button that says click to request to unblock. That is another way as well. And that is only for tests. Okay. Because we really don't want you to get blocked, there are ways to stop that. At the bottom of every, at the bottom of every lesson is an ask for help. And again, if you were struggling with the question, you could click that ask for help. The message goes directly to your teacher and you can type information if you'd like, or you can just hit send and it will take them to this question. It's best to write a message so that they know what you're stuck on. But if you didn't know what a variable was, you could write your teacher a message that says, I'm not sure what a variable is. Can you give me help on that? hit send, it will bring a link for the teacher to come right to your question so they can see specifically what you're struggling with. It's a great feature that is not used enough. In addition, if you're reading along, you can always take notes in Odysseyware. If you click anywhere to the left of the text, you can add a note. You can color code your notes if that helps you out. And you can use these notes, quizzes, assignments, and tests. So it is very important, just like you were taking notes in class, if you don't want to have to go through and search all of this again, you can take notes and then just open your notebook up at any time to answer any question. There are also built-in tools to help make it easier. If you have access to a printer, you can print. You can click here if you highlight text, and it will find things from the web that may also help you. So maybe the variable definition in Odysseyware wasn't helpful enough for you. You could highlight variable and click web, and it will search for things about variables on the web that may help you. There is a translate if you have a language other than English that you are using as your primary language, you can translate it. It will translate into Spanish, Burmese, about 50 others. And if you don't have the language that you're looking for, Odysseyware added it in 2 days for Burmese. So we can always get one added. And then there's a text-to-speech button. So this is the text-to-speech. You can highlight what you want read, put on some headphones, and it will read the whole assignment to you. We talked about our contact logs and that we have to talk to our teachers twice a week. This button right up here, so maybe you didn't run into anything the whole week, but you have to contact your teachers twice. You can click this button to message, and you can start a message directly to your teacher. And that way you don't have to go to another program like the school email or trying to find their phone number. If you click this, it will direct you directly to your teacher. And I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
We have a small enough group that if you have a question and would even like to unmute, you can do so.
Okay, so the whole time I've been trying to find like the link to log into the school, and I can't find it, and I need you to like re-say it for me so I can type it in, please.
Yep, you mean to get to Odysseyware, right, Kamari?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. And I'm going to take a moment here to also let everyone know that we're going to be communicating with you. So Mr. Stiles is really good about the Virtual Academy Facebook page, and you can find that if you search for Mr. Stiles. What is the actual name of it? Let me not say something that's not helpful.
Thank you so much.
So I think on Facebook, if you use Facebook and want to search, I think it's called 6th through 12th grade Virtual Academy, and we can also help you get to that if you'd like. So we're going to be providing information for you that way. We also will be sending out some school messenger information. So watch to get information from us that would be helpful. Also, we'll be sending out your web address again multiple times. We know that this is something that you have to get used to, but Kamari, thank you so much for asking that.
Dr. Nuzzi, it's
Yes.
Battle Creek Public Schools 612 Virtual Academy. So Battle Creek Public Schools 6 to 12 Virtual Academy.
Thank you for checking that.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. So I saw another question. Does a student need to be spending 3 hours total or 3 to 4 hours per class? It is 3 to 4 hours per day. Monday through Friday, to be able to get through your classes. And if I'm really honest, some students even need to spend a little more on it. It is just like you were in school, but you're just doing it independently. Have another question. So at this moment in time, we do not have a resolve for students to be in Reach and Virtual Academy. I know it is something we are looking into, so I'm not going to say an absolute no at this time. So if you can hang with us for just another couple of days, we're trying to figure that out.
What was our passwords again?
Password.
Login is your first and last name, all lowercase, no spaces, and no special characters. You know, no apostrophes, no dashes. And then the password, the first time, is password. And Miss Baisden, will it ask them to choose their own password after that? Yes. So you can have your own password. And here's another interesting tidbit. We don't know what your password is because that's owned by you. So if you forget it though, we can help you. We can reset it, but you will have to create a new password. So another really important thing to do is as soon as you create your own password after you've logged in the first time, write it down, put it in your phone under your notes, or however you do that, and keep your own important information. I see that we have a person who says it won't let you sign in. You have to also give us just another day or so to make sure we have every student logged in. It's an awful lot of students to create their profiles in Odysseyware. If you are still not able to sign in by, I would say, Sunday, please message us and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So Ms. Baisden, would you allow me to finish up by sharing?
Mm-hmm.
Really good questions. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's finish up here. All right, so we got great tips from Ms. Baisden. Thank you so much. So the other thing that you're going to be receiving is a parent compact and a student compact. This is something that we are required to do, and really what it says in total, parent says, I will help my student, I will support them, and I understand what Virtual Academy is all about, that it is school, that they will be receiving grades, and that they do have to spend some time with it. Students, basically yours says the same thing. It says, I understand that I'm doing this on my own, that I will have a couple of very short contacts from a teacher, that there's not a teacher there to help me every day. And so it just is an understanding of what Virtual Academy is. We will be sending those out to you as well to sign, and you'll need to get those back to us via email or sending them right back. We're also going to be providing some mini lessons for Virtual Academy students on staying organized, connecting your learning, and also preparing to take benchmark assessments. So again, watch for that communication from us. It's kind of like my husband says to me, I've been calling you, why aren't you answering your phone? Well, probably because it was on silent. So I'm asking you to watch for some communication from us. It's not going to be every day, but we will be providing ways to connect with you and ways to help you be the best Virtual Academy student that you can be. So here's some information you're going to want to either take a screenshot on. We will be sending this out to you again, like I said, but we have a dedicated person to help our students if they have confusions in Virtual Academy. Now, this person is not necessarily the one that you want to reach out to if you need to know what an integer is. That would be your teacher. but the person here is Miss Williams. If you're having any kind of tech issues with Odysseyware, or if you can't remember how to sign in, or anything like that, or even if you're just confused but you can't remember how to get to your teacher, you can do an email to battle-creek.k12.mi.us. If you just have any kind of other general questions, I have put my own cell phone number down there, and I'm inviting you to give me a call. Parents, if you're still trying to decide, should I put my child in virtual academy or should there be something else? Really, truly, give me a call and let's talk it through. So we will send this information back out to you as well. All right, at this point in time, we're going to go ahead and see if there are more questions, and it looks like we do have some questions. I am going to go to those, stop my sharing, and let's see what we've got. Just because you have a question doesn't mean that other people won't have the very same things. All right, so I have someone that says they received a login for one student today. Okay, it sounds like your student is not logged in with the right grade level. We can help you individually with that. Also, you didn't receive any login information for the other student. We do not register students or into Odysseyware by family. It is individually. So hang tight for a minute. And really, if you'd like to stay on with us when we're finished, let's get your information so we can help you out with your one student who seems to be registered in a different grade level than they should be. You will only see 2 assignments at a time. That is very possible, yes. We have a question about, can we still do sports? The answer to that is yes, you can. Mr. Siles, do you want to speak to that?
Yes, there will be requirements for attending or working every single day and completing a number of assignments or lessons every single day. Just like being in regular school, you're still held accountable for actually doing the work and being a student first.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. All right, so we also have a question about a student at the Math and Science Center. We do students at the Math and Science Center, you're talking about their Battle Creek classes, because I think you know already that their Math and Science Center courses are going to continue on for the remainder of the year in remote, just because that is 17 districts that they have to figure out how to get them back safely. And it seems like that will not be an opportunity until next fall. However, if they are doing their Battle Creek classes virtually, yes, we have a way to make sure that they can do both of those. And the reason being, they're not at the same time, but I also want to make sure, are their classes being adjusted so they don't have to take duplicate classes? So a student at the Math and Science Center, it's just like if they were taking their classes at Battle Creek Central for the other half of the day. So I see what you're saying. So do they have to take 2 math classes at the same time? No, they do not. So it might take just a little more communication, you know, individually with either Mr. Siles or your child's counselor. If you see that we've not done that quite right, we can fix it. That's why I say that communication is really the key to this being successful. Absolutely. A student says, didn't get here quite at the beginning, so do we start classes and end through the week? Is it 10 to 2? So I think you're meeting 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. No, this is independent. This is completely up to you when you're doing your work. We have some students who are on Virtual Academy because they are working full-time right now, being their family's breadwinner. And so they might do all of their coursework in the evening from 6 to 10 p.m. It is whenever you choose to log on. We just know that for students to be successful, it really takes about 3 to 4 hours a day. Did that answer your question on that one? We also have a student that's seeing messages in Odysseyware that are dated all the way back to 2018. It could be that you were engaging with Odysseyware in 2018. You can probably ignore those particular messages and just start from now and go forward. No, there is no set time to do the assignments within the day, because this is an independent learning program. Just like you are maybe on virtual or doing a remote class in college, they don't tell you when you have to be there. That is up to you. That's why it's so important to make sure that you are the kind of person that can say to yourself, every day I have to work on this 3 to 4 hours a day. Whether you're one of those total morning birds from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. or whether you like to sleep in a little bit and you're going to do school from 10, to 2, that is up to you. And absolutely, it's going to show you the progress that you've made in that class. Yep. All of those helps are there. And a lot of students find that almost like a game, like they're challenging themselves to make sure they stay on pace and get that done. And again, if you slide back just a hair and it turns yellow or red, which is what you'll see, don't worry. Figure out your schedule, give a little extra time for a couple of days, and you can get yourself back to green. You really can. All right, I am going to hold tight for a moment. I'm going to see if Mr. Siles or if Miss Baisden have any other things that they feel like would be very helpful to you. And then also, we'll just take some time for some more questions.
I'd just like to add that you really do have to schedule your own day. Whatever you want to get done in the day, you have to make education a priority and figure out what works best for you. For me, 4 to like 8 a.m. would be great. For others, it might be 8 p.m. to midnight, but that's a personal choice. But you have to be dedicated to that time period to get your work done for school.
And that's why this is really pretty cool as well, isn't it? Because you can make the choice. You're in the driver's seat. It is about learning, but when is up to you. All right, I'm not seeing any more questions at this time. Again, we're going to push out to you the help desk information so that if you are stuck, you can put in a help desk ticket, and all that means is that you put that email in the email address and you type what you're trying to do or what you need. And that will turn into a ticket with your name and information on it, and you will get a reply. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, go right ahead and say, I need to talk to someone and here's my phone number. You can do that, and that just helps one of us get to you much more quickly than if we're emailing back saying, how can we help you? And then it takes a little more time. So communication, and it's about you reaching out. And again, remember, that shows strength. All right, go ahead and give us until like Saturday or Sunday before you log in and do a check. But if you do not have your information in there by Sunday, please do reach out to us. And I will make sure, I will not make sure, I will ask Mr. Siles to put information in the Facebook group for sure about the help desk, and also my phone number. Because the one thing we want to do is make sure you are connected well and that you get a strong start. Gonna hold on the line for just one more second to see if any other questions come through. All right, it seems like you all have your questions for the moment answered. Don't worry at all if you have additional questions. You know how to reach us. And with that, I will wish you a very good evening. if you are watching this as a recording, all of those ways to receive help, either through the help desk or with a phone number provided, go ahead and use those. Just because you're watching a recording, we want you connected very strongly as well. All right, we wish you a good evening. Thank you so much for joining, and we are anxious to watch you be very successful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.